It's week 2 in college football, the number 1 game, Michigan and Texas. And Texas comes to town in the Big House and absolutely dominates Michigan. And we're going to jump into the reasons why. Number 1 reason, Michigan, +3 in turnovers. Right here, we're going to take a look at all 3 of them real quick. And this very first one. Now, if you told me Michigan on 3rd and 2, and this is a 3rd and 2 right here, midway through the second quarter, if they're sitting here and they're throwing the football, I'd say, hey, they're probably in a little bit of trouble. They got it on the line of scrimmage right here. Texas just a 4-man rush. You roll this back. We got a 1 high look. You got 1 high safety. Looks like outside leverage man against this tight double squeeze set. Michigan just running spacing right here. By spacing, all we're talking about is there's a curl here, there's a curl in the middle. They're just looking for space against zone. And right here, Texas, it's a 3rd and 2, so they're being extremely aggressive. They are in zone coverage. All right, but he's driving extremely hard to that curl. Davis Warren tries to fit it in there. Pretty tight coverage. But there is a window. You got to put it right on his body. And right here, ball's a little bit inaccurate. It's off his body. It's high and to the left. There is a little bit of pressure, even though there wasn't there's only 4 guys rushing. There is a little bit of pressure in Warren's face. But right here, looking at his knee, just locked out right here. That doesn't look like the best thing as far as mechanics. This ball sails on him a little bit. DB just gets a hand on it. And right there, aggressive coverage. 3rd and short. They drive on it, get an interception. Again, they're already up 14-3, but right here, whenever you create those interceptions, create those turnovers, does nothing but continue to build momentum for a team, especially on the road. Second turnover right here, 17-3, minute left in the first half. And right here, all they're trying to do is just get a little bit of momentum right here. So right here on 3rd and 12, late in the second quarter, right before halftime, trying to just get a delay. Maybe you can get up close to the first down. Maybe you can run for it. But right here, a delay to your tight end. And he's probably one of the best players you have on the field as far as skill guys, if not the best. And right there, just gets easy completion. And then just a little bit loose with the football. It takes about 4 steps. And then just kicks it away. And, of course, Texas grabs it up. Opportunistic, flying to the football. Sets him up for in really good field position right here before the half. Just trying to continue momentum and build that lead. And they're able to do it right here. Last turnover right here. And it's 31-6 already. About 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. But whenever you're stopping the run, making them get away from their game plan as far as controlling the clock and make them throw it 33 times like they did, you know that's going to be favorable to creating turnovers. So right here, just a draw back, not on the same page with his tight end right here, going right down the seam. It's just 4 verticals. He likes the seam. It does end up being a too high look, so really not sure why he's trying to force this seam in right here. But there is some space, but him and the tight end are not on the same page, just rips it. And the safety actually reads this throw a lot better than the tight end and just comes up with an easy pick right here. I mean, it's already been an issue, but if you can't run the football, like Michigan wasn't able to run the football, now you're forcing your quarterback, who's a first-year starter, not just overly talented, but right here, force him to throw it 33 times against a good defense and not on the same page, come down with an easy pick right there late in the third quarter. So just glancing into the box score real quick, and of course, we already talked about it. 3 turnovers, you had 2 interceptions, you had Loveland down here, he had a lost fumble right there, just letting it get away. If you told me that Texas was +3 in turnovers, I'd say they're probably going to win the game. So I thought it was going to be an even matchup either way. But then if you also told me Michigan only averaged 3.5 a carry, and they only got 80 yards rushing, and they had to throw the ball 33 times with Davis Warren, I'd say that's obviously a blowout. If they would have averaged and it gotten around 150 yards rushing, I would have felt like maybe they'd have a chance. But with less than 100 yards rushing, 3.5 yards a carry, definitely going to be an issue. And, of course, you look at Texas, they had 143, average 4.5, but the real thing was they had a 55-yarder on a reverse, which, of course, the explosive play, you can't take that away. But for the most part, Michigan did a pretty decent job stopping the run, control line of scrimmage on that side of the football. But on the other side, they weren't able to run the ball nearly as effectively. And Texas was able to force Davis Warren to try to beat them and those skill guys out wide. They just don't have the skill to beat good DBs or even a decent secondary, which I think Texas has gotten a lot better in the secondary than they were last year. But just the box score shows that this game was going to be a blowout based off just running the ball and turnovers. We're going to look at a couple examples right here of just Texas on the line of scrimmage in key situations. Right here, 3rd and 3 early in the game. It's 7-0, start of the second quarter. And right here, 3rd and 3, trying to get a first down. They got Alex Orji in at quarterback, so they're trying to create extra numbers right here. Donovan Edwards getting him wide, making that corner get out of the box, and they're just running power straight downhill with a heavy fullback. Setting this edge right here by this D lineman, trying to condense this. Colson Loveland going there, pulling for the front side. The numbers and the space looks really good. But then right here it comes down to it. This guard doesn't get around, isn't able to get there to make the play on that front side linebacker. And he fires in, slows up Alex Orji. and now he turns him back to those defensive linemen that are getting off blocks. So right there, this guard does a poor job of understanding where he's trying to get to and getting a little bit of depth so he can get around that. He gets caught up in a lot of trash and ends up just blocking his own guy for really no reason. Linebacker slides in there unblocked, forces this play back to those defensive linemen, able to get him on the ground on 3rd and 3. Next look here, this is again on 3rd and 5, trying to run the football. Of course, Michigan, this is probably 2-down territory, down 24-3. Again, Alex Orji, the quarterback, running some sort of a power read, reading this guy. And if he gets upfield or widens, you're going to go ahead and pull the ball, which is what happens right here. And, of course, if he squeezes on these down blocks, he's going to hand the ball. They're going to get on the edge and should be good because they got 3 guys out there, and he'll be rolling. But right here, defensive lineman, extremely athletic. He gets upfield, and then he's able to filter back down and make the play. And, of course, still unblocked right here. They don't do a great job. 58 again. Puller on power. Absolutely loses the Mike linebacker. This is the guy they're pulling for, the only linebacker in the box, and he's sitting there staring at this guy, the guy that they're reading, and now he's able to get on that Mike. Of course, very athletic play right here, but also I don't even think if he would have got down on there, this guy's going to scrape that pretty tight and probably going to make that tackle anyway because he's an unblocked Mike. But right there, athletic play by that defensive end, and then really poor path right there by that guard trying to block that linebacker. Now I'm going to take a look at some of Texas' offense, and one of the things that really stood out was Grant Helm. Seemed to be a mismatch for those linebacker safeties they try to put on the tight end here. And right here, he's lined up in line. They're faking like they're running counter right there to it, and you can see hard play action fake. You got a guard pulling, and he just slips right there to the backside. Obviously, Sark's always doing a great job with play action, trying to get guys into open voids, defenders in run pass conflicts, and that's what they get right here. This linebacker stepping up. Really nobody in this weak side flat after that motion comes across. And Grant Helm, bigger body tight end, is able to get there. Ball was tipped, so great adjustment right here. Good job here by Ewers, having a little bit of poise right here. The guy's getting into his face. Obviously, good defense. You have to make plays when there's a little bit of pressure. So right there, great job, great concentration by Helm. Of course, he's rolling. This is just one of his early receptions. They really helped Texas early in the game create a little bit of momentum like they do right here. Grant had a touchdown, and this is actually it right here. They're just running a bit of a scissors here. This is a double squeeze look. So you got a bigger body guy. So this is a tight end. You got a receiver. He's going to the corner. He's a tight end, so he's going to be a little bit slower. So he goes to the post, and then over here you got just a smash. So we're just reading this weak side safety. What's he going to do? As long as he stays off the hash, now we feel good. We can work this right there to that side. Back's going to leak out over here to the flats as well. So right here, easy read. Safety right here stays middle field open, so split field safeties. He gets over at the top of the corner. Now you got this post working back right there. These linebackers, their eyes right here on the running back. If this safety here, there's a safety back here. If he would have been driving on that, you're looking to the corner, and then we check it down right here. But right here, easy throw and catch here, right to the middle of the field. Of course, makes it a little bit more interesting than it should be. He has to work up through the pocket. Now it's just like 7-on-7. There's nobody in front of him. So here, easy throw and catch. Nobody left in the middle field. Here's that backside safety trying to get there late after he chased that corner. Big touchdown. Of course, bigger body guy in the back of the end zone making plays for Texas in the big house. Another look of a good play right here. This is just on 1st and 10. They're in an empty set. You see how Michigan's trying to play this. They're in one high look. So here they're just running slot fade and going cover 3. So corner plays off. This guy's walling right here on maybe a slot fade or seam, whatever it is. He sits. Give him the ball right now, especially it's a 1st and 10. Don't force this thing down the field. Get a completion. And the big thing about this is once he makes the catch, you got that backer flying down to him. If you can make him miss, again, that's what's so special about having bigger body guys out there. These smaller guys, whether they're safeties, rolling down, or corners, really going to be hard to tackle that guy if he's athletic at all. So right there, gets vertical, gets a first down just on an easy hitch. Right there at empty, Michigan playing cover 3. Very similar play of what they had earlier. You're running counter here. You got a pulling guard. A little bit different formation here, though. So right here, tight ends working across. There's a huge void, especially with these guys filling down with that pulling guard, faking that hard. These guys are running a wheel, I believe, maybe a post, something along those lines. He's running a vertical. And just the way they're rolling to that one high look, he's able to get over here. And right here on this one, Michigan's actually playing man-to-man. You got this safety trying to cover, again, a guy that's a bit of a mismatch right there. We saw that a lot with Gronk in the middle of the field on safeties. He's just going to big boy that guy. And then you got to have an accurate throw, obviously against man-to-man and good teams. But right there, Quinn Ewers puts it on him. Allows him to run away from that man-to-man. Doesn't slow him down at all. Turns to a big play. And Grant Helms is the last one for him, but he was a huge mismatch against anybody, whether it's zone, man. That guy was an issue for Michigan and had a really big day. Next thing we're going to take a look at is just the run game from Texas. And, of course, didn't just have a ton of yardage, well over 100 yards. One of them was basically a 55-yarder, and we'll see that one. But they kept them on their heels because there was lots of misdirection. They would get first downs on 3rd and medium. So right here, 3rd and 4. If you run the football against Michigan on 3rd and 4 and feel really good about it, then you're going to have a chance for success. And that's what they do right here. They're just running outside zone, faking the sweep over here. You got a guy running across, and they're also going split zone. So there's a lot of people that are getting pulled to the left as they're going outside zone to the right. So you can see how that kind of hesitates. Some of these linebackers, they get everything reached. Here's an unblocked player. Running back's got to find a way to get vertical and get 4 yards with that unblocked player. So right there, great read. See him in the outside gap, puts his foot in the ground, goes vertical, and right there hits it. Great job falling forward. D lineman right here, number 1, flying over, smokes him, but playing with momentum. Once he gets hit, he falls forward for another 3 or 4, gets a first down on a 3rd and medium. Next look right here of a really impressive run. This is on a 2nd and 10 right here on the 15-yard line. And if you can run and get a first down right here against Michigan's defense, that's pretty solid. They're just running counter here to the left. You're in a heavy set over here. 2 receivers out wide. The guard's going to pull to kick this defensive end. Right here you can see the big bubble between this outside linebacker here and this D tackle. They're going to wash him all the way to the only linebacker in the box. And this fullback's actually going to pull for whoever shows up. Probably this outside linebacker folding in late. So right there, easy job. Hey, kick, play side shoulder. Getting that guy out of that gap. Creating a huge alley right there. Get up to that Mike. Great job there by the O-line with that double team. And now 81. The H pulling around. Does a great job getting on the outside linebacker. And, man, if I'm looking at Michigan and I see this guy, after what we had last year on defense, absolutely turn down this hit, that dude is absolutely just cringing up. I mean, what in the world is that? He's not trying to take on a block or anything. He's just getting absolutely mollywopped and just catching it. That is embarrassing right there by 1. But anyway, fullback comes in, hits him, running back, easy job falling forward, get another 2-3 yards. Big gain right there, 12 yards right there on the fringe of the red zone on the 20-yard line, just running counter right at them. And Michigan not liking it at all. And right there, number 1, turning down the fullback instead of trying to take him on. This is another great look right here of a little bit of motion. I think they brought him in, then brought him back out, just trying to get some eye candy right here, get these guys a little hesitant. But where they're running is this gigantic alley right here. Like, what is this alignment here? We don't understand what's going on. But they're running pin and pull. So right here, with that giant alignment, they know, hey, slow down right here at this tight end spot. We can pin this guy. He's going to have to play that gap, pin his outside shoulder. This other tight end, he's going to work straight to this linebacker, block down. They're actually pulling the guard and pulling the center around right here. There's your guy that the center's pulling for, so he should have everybody taken care of. Backside guard is trying to scoop, and he's gap hinging right here on the backside, just working wide. Of course, there is a chance to pull it, maybe throw it out here, depending on what's going on. But as you see, there's 2 receivers out here, and they've got at least 3, if not 4 guys that are occupied with these 2. So numbers are great. Hand the ball, he fakes the throw, and these guys are in no position. And right there, easy kick on the only guy that's left to help contain. And there's the safety trying to roll down. Great job here by the tight end. We already talked about Helms. I think this is him right here. I mean, this dude's also blocking, gets him into the end zone. That's number 1. We've seen what he does on defense. But right there, great call, great design, and just based on the way they were lined, walk into the end zone right there from the 7-yard line against the defending champs. Here's the big play. Obviously, Texas would have had under 100 yards if they wouldn't have had this big reverse, but of course, you build these into the game plan so you can create big plays. But right here on this one, faking counter here with the running back. Here's your receiver coming around. And so you're going to just fake right there on the counter and then just toss. And the other thing that's really good, you got the puller right there at the guard. You got the fullback that's working there, and then he works back around to help seal. And this receiver right here should be sealing, pinning, letting him go to the corner. But really doesn't matter. Misdirection. Now it's just speed. So right there, you got to get your fastest guy on the field, the ball on that. Of course, look at the lineman as well. He knows it's reverse. He's working that gap, and then he's going to get out here in front, trying to help out. Everybody's trying to pin there to the counter side. And right here, big man out in space. Basically a traffic cone right here is making people run around him. But right there, great job, great design. Texas creating an explosive play, getting down, getting inside the 5-yard line right here on this one. Already up 24-6. Now we're going to take a look at some of the passing game. Of course, right here, you're getting out and up. It's a one high look. Feel good about it. Double move right here on the corner with Isaiah Bond. See what happens. And, of course, there's a lot of interesting stuff. You got D tackle that's dropping. He ain't going to be able to do nothing unless you throw it right at his face mask. But anyway, you're going out, and he's sitting on it, and then he goes vertical, And this is a really good throw by Quinn Ewers. It's probably not exactly how they thought it was going to be. Whenever they've been doing it in practice and showing it on film, they probably thought he was going to release outside. But right here, Isaiah Bond has to slip to the inside of this corner. So he has to put a little more pace to it. He's got to throw this thing and make sure we beat the safety. You see the safety rolling over. Corner trying to catch back up right there. Just fits it in just before 7 gets there. Just enough pace on the football. Big play. And, of course, this is early in the game. And you can see these guys converging. And just how close that is by 7 to get there. So really good play. Fits it in just in the nick of time. And great concentration, great catch there by Isaiah Bond. This is a play right here where Texas caught Michigan a couple times. And, of course, again, whenever you drop D linemen, they're not that aware of what's going on in front of them. It's trying to be really complex. Drop these guys. Maybe you get one thrown right to you. But nobody sees this back leaking out of the backfield. These guys got other things they're doing here on the back end as well. But this guy's probably responsible for the flats. And right there, he's just looking at guys back turn. No clue what's going on with the running back. So they flip it out there. Corner has an entire third of the field trying to tackle a running back. And I don't care who it is, you're going to get shook up. And that's what happens right here. Moment's too big. But, again, I mean, we're dropping D tackles, D ends, trying to make those guys play the flats and help us out. And they do absolutely nothing. That's what happens right here. Leaves a corner on the island with nobody there to help him because you got a D lineman trying to get there from Michigan. I don't like it at all. But right there makes the guy miss, turns into an explosive play. Really good goal line concept and great patience here by this receiver. You know, it's just, hey, it's a one-on-one. We're going to sprint to you. And at some point, break to the front pylon, we'll throw you the ball. I mean, it's one of those things, hey, you got time to work. He's working that like a fade. Then he puts his foot in the ground. And as soon as he puts his foot in the ground, we're going to throw that thing right at the front pylon. And you're going to chase it. Chase that ball down. Great timing, great throwing catch, and good job moving the pocket there as well. Good protection here by this running back, even though he gets absolutely tossed out of the club right here. Here's one. One's actually hitting somebody. He saw a guy that's a little bit smaller than him, so he's going to go ahead and hit and actually lay him out. So right there, one actually brought it. That's pretty impressive. Proud of that guy. But anyway, throwing to the front pylon. Tons of space right there, one-on-one on the sprint out. I'm sure they worked this a ton, especially going to his left. Not an easy throw for yours. Great timing, great ball placement there for a big touchdown. That was a really interesting look here. You're in a bunch set, and they start this back early and get him out wide. And with how they're mugged down, one of these guys is probably manned up on the running back. This is on a 3rd and goal, so they can get a little bit more intricate. But right here, whenever he goes out there, you see him late to it, just like, oh, hell, I got to take off running. And by the time that happens, there is a lot of trash. These guys are releasing. I'm not sure if there's anything else other than maybe like a flood. There's not really a mesh or anything going on. But right there, making him run over all the top of that, and then it just turns to a race between that running back and the rest of the secondary, and he just beats him to the front pylon. Last touchdown here for Texas. And again, it's just getting the back out of the backfield, making those guys run. The guy that was mugged up in the line is probably manned up, and it opened it up for him right there. Track meet to the front pylon. Texas wins. With all that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching. Huge build-up to this game, and Texas absolutely dominated. They dominated up front, basically on both sides of the football. And, of course, +3 in the turnovers. No chance for Michigan to win. So a huge win for the Longhorns, going up to Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the Big House, and absolutely putting their foot on the throat of the Wolverines and getting it done. So big win for those guys, especially before they get into SEC play. But make sure you subscribe so you can see everything we have coming up this college football season. And we'll see you guys again in the next video.